Hello there, everyone. Meteorologist Jim Dickey here in the ABC 7 Hurricane Center with another edition of Tracking the Tropics this Monday morning, July 22nd. As I speak here, as you're watching this perhaps, no named storms at this point in time out there across the Atlantic. In fact, for the most part, look how quiet it is. So from the Gulf of Mexico back to the Caribbean Sea, very little even in the way of cloud coverage in this view, and definitely the deep tropical Atlantic, what we consider the main development region, really quiet out there. There are a number of tropical waves lining the waters there from Africa to the Lesser Antilles, but not much thunderstorm activity going with it, and we'll talk about why in just a bit. But I do have marked here Invest 94L. Remember, an invest is just an area, usually an area of low pressure, that the National Hurricane Center is paying a little closer attention to for potential development. And yeah, sure enough, we do have that little wave of low pressure that's working its way towards the coast of Florida that has at least a chance to try to come together here, a small chance, and a very short window in time for that to occur. But all the same, there is a chance as it moves to the west and northwest that at least a depression, if not a tropical storm, is able to come together briefly. So the good news is, overall with this, even if it does come together, I don't think it's a huge impact. Right now, as we switch over and look at the satellite imagery, and again, it's a 30% chance per the NHC. This is the 8 a.m. advisory for Monday morning, and that is up a little bit from where they had those development chances last night. Switch over to our analysis mode, and the area of low pressure is right about here as I go ahead and get the telestration on for you. Right about there is where it's centered. Now, I drew a closed circle. It's not closed off. All we really have going on right now is we have our winds sort of shifting as this comes in. So coming in like this and then this. And that little shift in the winds is just enough to get a little enhanced thunderstorm activity. We're not seeing anything in the way of winds closing off, any type of spin with this right now. But there is a nice blow up of rainfall, thunderstorm activity right here, right over just about where the center of that wave is right now. Sign that perhaps, again, this is making a run at trying to develop, trying to come together. It certainly looks more healthy than it has in its entire run, and it's working steadily off to the north and or to the northwest. Now, let's look at the spaghetti plot. So again, each line is a different model forecast, and the vast majority turn these to the north and then northeast. And I'll show you why in just a second. I do want you to note these two models, one that just puts it out as straight lines. That one's sort of garbage anyway. The other, HWF, that is simply showing it not coming together, being an open wave that just drifts into Florida and then falls apart. It's not really picking up on that trying to spin up. But our in-house model actually does show it trying to come together here. So first things first, why is it going to turn? This is by tomorrow morning. Big old cold front is working its way into the eastern U.S. If you're watching from the northeast, you've probably noticed that already because we're cooling things down from the weekend heat wave. But as that moves in, look at the winds ahead of it coming out of the south and west, going to grab this and pull it north. It's also going to mean, as this moves towards the coast of Florida and makes that turn, it's going to hit some very high wind shear, some very much unfavorable conditions. So even if this does form over the next 24 hours, it hits that wind shear, it'll be torn to shreds and absorbed into that front. That's definitely what our in-house model here shows. But as I go through this, again, so here we are right now. Again, there's your shifting winds over the Bahamas showing you that open wave of low pressure. But as I advance this forward, this model, there you go. It closes off a little circulation by the time we get to this afternoon. So again, perhaps we have a depression, even a tropical storm on our hands. Note, though, just about all the rainfall is on the eastern side of this, and I think that continues to be the case. Watch as we get to, this is midnight. We still have a little closed-off area, a spin, on the model here, but all of the rain at that point in time is off to the east. Wouldn't be much going on the east coast of Florida despite that being here. Certainly no impacts here in southwest Florida from that. And then as I advance this further on into Tuesday afternoon and evening, now we're back to some sea breeze thunderstorm activity. There's no reflection by Tuesday evening of that wave, of that potential area of low pressure as that front starts to come into play. And then again, it gets absorbed into that front by the time we get to Wednesday and beyond. Big rainmaker for northern Florida, this front. But by this point in time, any tropical low is long gone. So again, it's a short window of opportunity. Not out of the question something could come together. Depression, perhaps a storm. If it does take a name, it would be Chantal. It would bring a chance for increased tropical downpours to the east coast, but as far as widespread impacts, not a huge concern here. Something we'll be watching, but not something to necessarily concern yourself too much with, especially not here in Southwest Florida. Now, like I said, the rest of the Atlantic, really quiet. Nothing going from the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, all the way back to the coast of Africa. And here's the big reason why: Saharan dust. Especially this time of year, early on in the season, these areas of dust tend to prowl the main development region. This is as we go through Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday. We have one sweep of dust working across the Caribbean Sea. We have another, a pretty large area that's about to move its way off the coast once again, and that stabilizes the atmosphere. These tropical waves are out there. They're trying to produce thunderstorm activity. The thunderstorms try to grow upward in the atmosphere. They hit this dry, stable layer. They fall apart. So, yeah, good news there. Outside of the invest we're watching by the coast of Florida, no additional development expected through the rest of the week. So again, small window of opportunity in time, really the next 24 hours or so, for something to try to spin up out of that wave in the Bahamas, working towards the coast of Florida. But even if it does, it'll be absorbed by that front by late Tuesday, certainly by Wednesday. Increased rain possible the east coast of Florida. Otherwise, no major impact from that. But we'll be watching it closely. And outside of that, the rest of the Atlantic, thankfully, staying quiet. All right, so we're keeping close tabs on that system 94L here as we head through the day today. Any updates, we'll bring them to you on air and online here at ABC 7. Until then, I'm meteorologist Jim Dickey. Have a great day.